Hi, today I'm reviewing the Dr. Jart Cicapair Tiger Grass Camo Drops. And really quick, I just want to say I purchased all these products with my own money, so you know you can trust my opinion is what I honestly believe. And if you want to help support the channel, click on the Amazon link below before you make your purchase. So Dr. Jart has come out with another Cicapair Tiger Grass product, and I think it's going to be their fifth or so, possibly even sixth, but they've got quite a lot of products focusing on tiger grass, and it kind of is the new ingredient of the moment. L'Oreal even made a cream featuring tiger grass, so tiger grass is good for your skin, but it's not the only thing your skin needs, so just remember that. There's no such miracle ingredient. If there was one specific ingredient that would make your skin look beautiful, then there wouldn't be any other cosmetics because everyone would just make that specific ingredient. So there isn't one, but tiger grass is a good one to have in your cosmetic bag, but definitely focus on other things as well. So let me start with my Serum scale, and I'll kind of tell you what I think of this. My first criteria is packaging, and this is packaged nicely. The bottle is opaque enough, and it's not in a jar, so there isn't a lot of exposure to air, and the jar features a dropper, which sometimes I'm kind of clumsy with, but a pump would always be better, but this is decent, and it protects most of the product from the light and air, so it gets a thumb up there. My second criteria is alcohol, and there is alcohol in this, so it gets a thumb down there. The alcohol is towards the bottom of the list. It's right here, so you can see that entire ingredient list. It's pretty far down, but it still would be better had it been further down or not at all. Sometimes some products need it for viscosity and things like that, but be better without it. There's still some in there, especially if you have dry skin. You don't want to expose your skin to a lot of denatured alcohol. My third criteria is fragrance, and unfortunately this contains a few fragrant ingredients. It's got lavender in it, grapefruit, rosemary, rosewood in there, so it's got 4 of them, and some of them are higher up on the list. If it were far towards the bottom list, it wouldn't be as big of an issue, but there is some of that in there, and no matter which one it is, fragrance can kind of break away at your healthy skin barrier, and your skin is better off without it. Even if you don't notice right away that your skin is being irritated, you might not ever notice, but sometimes those effects are cumulative, so it's best to avoid them as much as possible. So I'm bummed that they included that in there, but I think all of their Cicapair and Tiger Grass ingredients have some of it to certain levels, but this one is not as much as other ones, so their repair serum has a lot more of it, I think. So anyway, so it gets a thumb down there. Manufacturing location is number 4, and this is manufactured in Korea, so no issues there. Number 5 is ease of use, and it's pretty easy to use. What this is it's supposed to be like a pre-makeup serum that kind of neutralizes any redness on your skin, and it kind of provides a little bit of a tint to it to help even out your skin tone. And I'm wearing it right now, and today I wore this without any foundation on top, so it's just this and then a little bit of powder. Normally I wear foundation, but so if you have a good skin tone or it's like a no makeup day, I certainly think you could be fine just using this and instead of finishing with foundation, because this does do a lot of neutralization unless you have a lot of hyperpigmentation or red spots or uneven skin tones. But this does a good job of evening those out. So there is that one drop, but it's kind of similar in a way to their color correcting cream in a way. It's not the same per se, but it has kind of the same principle, and it starts out with the same color tone. This is more high coverage or full coverage than this is. This is very light coverage, so just to throw that in there. So if you already own this, you might not need to run out and get this, but it can help a little bit boost and correct some of that unevenness. So ease of use, it's very easy to use. I really think if you have more oily to normal skin, you're probably going to have better luck with this. If you have super dry skin like me, sometimes in a certain places accentuate a little bit of the dry flakes, but not too much, but just a little bit. So if you have super dry skin, I recommend trying to get a sample of this first to see if it's going to accentuate any of the flakiness. So anyway, just to throw that in there. And number 6 is antioxidants, and obviously this has tiger grass in there. And it's got some other moisturizing products. And in terms of pigmentation, it's very, very lightly pigmented, just enough to even out some of the skin tones. So like I said, if you have a lot of hyperpigmentation or unevenness in the skin tone, this is probably not going to do it all for you. But if you're like on a no makeup day or a low makeup day, this might just be all you need. So it kind of starts out with a green tone, and then once you rub it in, it definitely kind of hides a lot of the redness. So, and then the other thing I do like about this is it does have SPF in there. It's got mineral SPF, and I think it's 20. So it's not the gold standard of 30, but if you're applying a foundation over this or a sunscreen underneath it, that might just help boost it. Their color correcting cream has an SPF of 30, so I wish they would have gone with 30 in this, but I know they're probably assuming that people are going to use this underneath and then apply a foundation over it. So, so anyway, just to throw that in there. Or if you're going to use this without a foundation, try and use a powder over it that has an SPF in it for a little bit of a boost. So on to number 7, which is animal testing. And unfortunately, Dr. Jart does test on animals. Their website is very interesting, though, because it says they're committed to not testing on animals. And then if you read further on other sites that they do test on animals. So it can be a little confusing there. So always go beyond the manufacturer's website, because that's not the end all be all for the information, because they try and spin it just as much as they possibly can to make it look like they're the good guys, and they're not always. So, so on to number 8, which is performance, and this performs quite well. You apply it in the morning and you can wear it well throughout the day. It doesn't prevent oiliness or anything like that, but it can give you a good, nice canvas for your foundation. So it performs quite well in that respect, and it's easy to blend in. As you saw, I did on my hand a couple times. And my hands are usually kind of red, so you can kind of see that it blends in quite well, performs nicely, no issues there, so it gets a thumb up for that. Number 9 is the price, and this is $46 if you pick it up at Sephora. Always look around, because there's always other stores, and a lot of times they'll have sales, so that's always worth checking out. But it is a little expensive, so I gave it a thumb down there. But if you think about it, this bottle, a couple drops go a long way, so it's not quite as expensive as you think it is initially, because this bottle will last a while. I can guarantee you that. And then on number 10, the It Factor, I gave it a thumb up there. Tiger Grass is having its moment. It seems to be the big ingredient these days, and a lot of companies are using it and including it in their creams and products. And this Dr. Jart line, they've done a great job with it. They've got the cream, which I've reviewed. I can put links to all those. But they've got their cream, they've got their night mask, they've got their repair serum, they've got their color correcting cream, they've got their camo drops. So they're doing quite a good job with this line, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else they're going to come out with it for it next. So I don't know, possibly a Tiger Grass eye cream, I don't know, or a Tiger Grass cleanser, we'll see. But so on my Sarah scale of 1 to 10, they got a 6 out of 10, which is pretty good. I believe that's 1 thumb up. So they've done a good job with this overall. There's a couple changes I would make if I were in charge of it, but I'm not, so I just have to buy the things and I don't make them. So, but overall, it's a good product, and if you don't like a lot of makeup or a lot of foundation and you have a relatively even skin tone, you could definitely use this in place of a foundation, I think, or just add this and it'll help kind of boost your foundation and make your skin tone look a little more even. And the added SPF isn't bad. So anyway, definitely worth considering. So I'm interested if you guys have had a chance to check this out yet or not. And if so, what your thoughts were, or what are your thoughts on any of the Cicapair line? Have you tried any of the products? And have you liked them or not? So leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Feel free to subscribe if you're not already. I come out with at least 1 new review every day. And check out nobsbeauty.net. Thank you so much, guys.
Hi, this is Sarah from No BS Beauty, and I'm proud to offer you one of my first products. And it is a stainless steel makeup palette, and I've been using ones like these for quite a while, and it makes it a lot easier to mix kind of custom foundation shades, custom serums, custom lip colors. You need something like this in your makeup routine to make things a lot easier. And all the profits from it will go to help the channel, which I'm independent and I purchase all the products with my own money. So definitely all of the profits will go so I can continue to bring you good reviews. But, you know, things I like to use are retinol. Retinol is definitely a good thing to use, but sometimes some of them can be a little too strong. So sometimes I like to mix them with other serums. So I'll use this to kind of custom make my retinol at night. So it's a little bit less irritating when you mix it in with something else. Or another thing you can do is mix in a vitamin C. Some of these can be a little oily or greasy, so sometimes it's nice to be able to mix it in with another serum. So I like to use the Clinique one, and I'll mix this in just a little bit because otherwise sometimes it can be a little too oily. And I'll mix it in, and in the morning I'll apply it all over my face before sunscreen. And another good vitamin C serum I like is the Dermadoctor one, but sometimes using the dropper with that can be a little messy, so sometimes I just like to mix just a little bit in with another serum. I love the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Serum, definitely a holy grail of mine. And I like to mix that in with it as well. Or sometimes before I go to bed, if I've got something else going on the next day, I like to mix in a little bit of tanner, self-tanner, but sometimes if you use it alone, it can get a little too orange or a little too dark. So sometimes mixing that in with another serum makes it definitely a lot better and a lot more moisturizing for your skin as well. So definitely something you can use in your serums or your kind of custom make your own skincare routine by using that and mixing up all these products. So definitely something worth considering there. And I also like to use it to mix in some of my custom foundations. So let me show you that too. Another thing I've been using this palette for is mixing and kind of customizing my own foundation. You can almost create a specific color if you have certain foundations that don't mesh well with your skin tone or even your skin texture. You can almost create your own custom foundation. One foundation I love is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro. However, sometimes I can find it to be a little too drying and almost kind of giving you more of a matte finish. So sometimes I'll mix in a little bit of the Josimara and Argan Moonstone drops with it and then use it. And it kind of helps kind of lessen the color and kind of give it a little bit more of a glowy look. Another thing I like to use is mixing in sometimes with oil with a foundation, and sometimes that gives you more of a dewy look. So sometimes I'll mix that in with the Dr. Jart, and it helps give you a little bit more of a glow to it. So sometimes mix in just a little bit in, and you definitely want to be careful with what you're mixing just to make sure that the ingredients are compatible, because certain types of foundations don't work well with certain types of other ingredients, but something to consider, definitely. But you can almost create your own custom look. I love this, but sometimes I feel like I need a little bit of a glow to it, so I'll mix in some of my NYX Born to Glow Illuminator with it. So you can definitely do that. Also, Cover FX makes a great, they're custom cover drops, but you can use these to alter the color of any foundation. So this is great to mix that with. Just give it a couple drops there, and then mix that in with another foundation to make it either lighter or darker. The Ordinary Serum Foundation is great, but I found it difficult to get the exact color. So sometimes mixing the other colors works well. Cover FX also has these new glitter drops, so sometimes it's nice to be able to use this to mix in with either a foundation or just to put it on this, and then you can use a brush to either dip it in and apply it as eyeshadow, or dip it in and apply it onto lips as kind of a lipstick cover. So
there's definitely some great options, and definitely love some of Cover FX's custom enhancer drops, but you can use this to mix it in with almost any different type of foundation and add a little bit of color here and there. But definitely using this, and if you use a sponge or a beauty blender, you can get that damp and then just use this to dip it in and apply it. It makes it a heck of a lot easier than trying to do it in your hand, or I don't know where else you would even, maybe the lid of another product, but this definitely makes all of that a heck of a lot easier. So it's definitely something worth picking up. And all of the profits from the sales of this palette will go to support my independent reviews. I purchase all the products myself just so I can give you an honest opinion as opposed to somebody that gets the products for free to review. I personally like to purchase them so I can give you my completely objective review without having to feel like I owe a company anything because they gave me something free. So all the profits will go to help support those reviews.